This was their world, a world of giants for over 165 million years.
A world where our own ancestors were but bit players, surviving in the shadows.
Life was a cycle of birth, survival, and death under an unchanging sun.
The skies too belonged to them, masters of the air.
And the land was ruled by titans, whose very footsteps shook the earth.
Predators, perfectly evolved, moved with deadly grace. But on this day, an ancient rhythm was about to be broken.
The earth itself seemed to whisper a warning, felt first by the smallest among them.
High above the atmosphere, a messenger of oblivion was approaching.
Life continued, oblivious. The giants moved as they had for millennia.
In the water, ancient ambush predators waited, patient as stone.
And at the apex, the tyrant king, the most fearsome predator the world had ever seen. For a moment, even he sensed it, a sudden unnatural quiet.
Fear is a primal instinct, and in the small, quick heart of the mammal, it now beat a frantic rhythm.
66 million years ago, the dinosaur's long reign had just 6 minutes left.
It came from the heavens, a rock the size of a city, traveling faster than any force nature could muster.
It struck with a force of 10 billion Hiroshima bombs. In that instant, the world changed forever.
At ground zero, there was no pain, only instant absolute nothing. But for the rest of the world, the horror was only beginning.
The very ground became a violent sea, throwing giants to the earth like toys.
Then came the wind, a supersonic hurricane of fire and rock scouring the land clean. The oceans themselves rose up, drowning continents in a single apocalyptic surge.
The sky rained fire. The planet was being bombarded by its own debris. The greatest extinction event began with the greatest fire the Earth has ever known. The king of the dinosaurs, for all his power, was powerless against the sky.
But the small, the hidden, the ones who could flee underground, they had a chance.
The very mountains shook apart, burying the dead in mass graves of stone.
This scar remains to this day, a reminder of the violence that created it. As the fires died, a new enemy arrived: darkness.
The sun had been blotted out, the long winter had begun. When the survivors emerged, they found a world transformed, a world of silence and ash. Without the sun, the heat fled. An asteroid impact had triggered a volcanic winter. The water was poisoned. The plants were dead. Food became a memory. The giants who once shook the earth now lay still, monuments to a lost age.
The world became a mausoleum, a silent, frozen graveyard.
They died as they lived, together, seeking comfort in the end. The future died in the egg, a generation that would never be. For the small ones, survival meant eating anything, everything. For months, perhaps years, the sun was nothing but a rumor. The rain itself became acid, burning the skin and finishing what the cold had started.
Death was everywhere. The only question was who would be lucky enough or resilient enough to avoid it.
One by one, even the hunters became the hunted, hunted by cold and starvation.
But the mammals had an advantage. They could burrow. They could store food. They could wait.
They waited through the long night, generation after generation, in the cold embrace of the earth.
The world was in the grip of a deep freeze.
And time, as it always does, began its slow, patient work of burial. Every worm, every root was a triumph, a step towards tomorrow.
And then, after an eternity of darkness, came a gift: light.
The sun returned. It shone on a broken world, but a world that would heal. And with the sun came the first sign of hope, the first green shoot of a new era. The world healed slowly. The forests returned. The climate warmed. And the reign of the dinosaurs was buried, compressed into a single thin line of rock. A line that marks the end of one world and the beginning of another. Millions of years later, a new kind of creature would find these bones and wonder. They would piece together the story, using the silent language of stone. And they would stand in awe of the giants, just as the small mammals once did. They would find the scar, the silent witness to that day of fire.
And in the shadows, the descendants of the survivors would still be watching.
Without the dinosaurs to compete, the mammals flourished. They grew in size, in number, in diversity.
And some of the dinosaurs survived. We call them birds.
Look into the eye of a bird, and you are looking at a dinosaur.
From tiny shrews came horses, whales, bats, and, eventually, us.
We are children of the apocalypse. Our very existence is thanks to that asteroid.